due to the upcoming fork that's coming up. So Laszlo has volunteered to give you an overview of HEX and answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, so, I very much appreciate it. And for the members who don't know, this is Secret Crypto, you were BitMeets, and you're basically you moderate the Telegram group, the community group.
Chat.
The community group. So, which is just an announcement, but we put a lot of news in there, a lot of information. So that's where they know you. And so this is just so that they know that they've been seeing you around for a long time, whether they know it or not. So you changed your username recently to HEX Bull because of this project, HEX, that you're very excited about. And then you kind of talked to me about it, and I got a better sense of what's going on with it. And it does look really good. And it feels really good to me. So I wanted to get you on really quickly so that, and Laszlo as well, so that we could give an overview to people so they have an understanding of what this project is. So let's just start at the beginning. Either one of you wants to answer this. Tell us what HEX is.
Okay, so HEX is a perpetual running time lock money printing sort of machine. I know that sounds ridiculous. Okay, so
it does sound ridiculous.
It does, but it's a new invention. This has actually never been done before.
Okay.
People are able to lock whatever amount they want of their coins. They don't have to stake it. They could choose the time, any day, any duration, and they could time lock their crypto. Or they could just keep it liquid in their private wallet. Okay? So when you time lock your HEX, you're rewarded yield for the amount of time you are staking it. The larger you stake, the more yield you receive. The further out in time you stake, the more yield you receive. For about 2 years, you get about 40 or more percent yield, which is rewarded in HEX, in more HEX. Okay, so this contract, this smart contract, it's DeFi, it's real DeFi, meaning it's 100% completed. Most cryptos out there are not 100% completed, not even Ethereum.
Not even close, yeah.
Right, so this one is 100% complete. It's finished. It took 2 years to make, and there's no admin keys. So no one, it's done. It's just there on the internet. It'll run forever. And the next time it ever really needs to be updated or forked or whatever will be over 150 years from now. So everyone who participates can always obtain this high yield that HEX provides you for yourself, your kids, your grandkids, and maybe their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the world right now, there's nothing that's generating yield because of interest rates, because of the central bank interest rates. And this is for every central bank across the world. Right now we have negative rates, even in the US. And we have high inflation. So your wealth, your savings, and even your income is being eroded substantially, and this is only accelerating. So this is the value proposition for HEX. It rewards you the highest yield in the world, and it's censorship resistant. No one can stop it. And it's truly decentralized. There's no one in charge. There's no middleman. You can never get rug pulled. Okay? And the smart contract itself, the math, the equation behind it is revolutionary. It should be a world-renowned winning invention that the world has never seen anything like this before.
Okay, so actually on that note, can you just, it was created by Richard Hart, right?
Well, he's not the developer. He has, I don't know if I should say this, but he has Ethereum level developers.
Uh-huh.
And he has a couple of them, and
But he spearheaded it. Yes.
He's the thought leader, the game theory guy behind it. So I've followed Richard since like whenever he showed up on Tone Vay's channel, like 2016 or 17. And he used to be a Bitcoin maximalist, and he's an OG whale Bitcoiner. Okay,
big time. Yes.
Yeah, and this guy knows.
That's why
what
I was asking. He's also very kind of pointed in his opinions about things, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just, you know, I've had a lot of disagreement with the things that he said over the years, but he's also really a smart guy and obviously was in very early. So, you know, that's why I was asking about him. So can you tell me more about why you think that he, you know, about what he's doing and what his thoughts are about this, why he wanted to do this?
Right.
Is it because it's got Bitcoin advantages?
I've followed him since whenever he came on the scene publicly on Tone Vay's channel. And I've watched him progress over the years, at least since early 2017. And I've watched him go from a Bitcoin maximalist to a maximalish because he started noticing Ethereum's price performance and the Bitcoin maxis were missing out on those gains. And he initially started some weird science project where to fund life longevity research. And he was trying to build that. And I early on, I believe in 2018, joined one of his Telegram chat groups because I was on Telegram. And I would drop in and out, but mainly I was in the trading chat. And all they did was talk about Bitcoin and this life longevity project, which is to help you cure diseases and live longer. All right. So he did that for a while, like maybe a year or something. I don't know. And then I guess with the people in his chat who are also Bitcoin maxis and whatnot, they start like, I don't know, they just started talking about making a different coin, which people are actually interested in because nobody was interested in that. But yeah, like, come on, I'm not here for the tech, man. None of us are. We're here for money.
Right.
Like, let's not bullshit ourselves, right? And
so
Richard,
losing his audience. Yeah.
Right. And Richard was already retired since like age 24 or something like that, I believe.
Right.
And he was like, all right, let's make a coin that's just going to pump. And everyone sort of threw in their ideas. What ended up happening is he took all of the great things that were working and he just threw it into one coin, and then with his wealth and his he had a lot of crypto connections. He came about like really top end developers and he just made it happen. I don't even think Richard knew what he was creating, and even he is sometimes surprised of what HEX does. There's just a bunch of off externalities. Like, it's really good for your mental health because you're always looking forward to your stakes coming undone, and they're always worth a hell of a lot more money than when you stake them initially, especially a year or more plus stakes. Okay? So, yeah, and I've followed him long enough now, like 3-4 years, where I've kind of gotten to know the guy, and I trust him. And honestly, I believe he just says uncomfortable truths. He does.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you that he's sincere, and I think that he is trustworthy. Absolutely, I think he's very smart. I just think he was, for a very long time, very stuck in one way of looking at things, right? So it sounds like he got unstuck from that and was in the right position to create this new project. So, and it was built out of the minds of everyone who was seeing how crypto was and wasn't working and what was needed. So what is, so like HEX, I get it that it's a crypto that you can lock it up. It gives you a lot of rewards for locking it up. And so you're making money along the way. It had a really amazing run previously, right? The previous run already was like, it was the best performing crypto last year. Is that right?
Right. It's been the
Right.
top performing crypto in the past 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
And it's outperformed Bitcoin's and Ethereum's first 2 years of
Mhm.
of performance. So most of the gains are in the beginning, and as the market becomes heavier, it takes more
Mhm.
liquidity and capital to move up the price. Like Bitcoin, for Bitcoin to go to $1 million, that's going to take tens of trillions of dollars at least.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
in the beginning of any projects, that's when the most gains are made. Now, I would
Right.
equate HEX to, I don't know, $30 Bitcoin right now, something like that, something real low.
Well, it's at 15 cents now. It's around 15 cents. And so I guess it started out, what, at a fraction of a penny or something? I don't know where it started, the price.
About, I mean, if you look at the charts right here, actually, I have it up. I have to move stuff. Hold on. I mean, its all-time low was really around. It wicked down, but I'm not going to count that. At 1/3 of a penny, practically.
Okay. That's pretty cheap, actually. A lot of cryptos come out now and they're trying to do a much higher price point to start with. I think that that's a very good price that they started it at for the initial investors. So it was a good way of doing it for everyone who got involved in the first place. I mean, I just like it when they keep the price low because there's a much better, faster upside for people. But it's at 15 cents now, which is incredibly still very cheap.
Right.
So, but the
psychologically, that was done on purpose, psychologically, because of unit buys. People don't like buying expensive things. They like buying,
Right.
They like a lot of units, right?
Yeah.
Now I could get into the nitty gritty. You had another question?
Well, no, I wanted you to just kind of elaborate on what else, what does HEX do apart from being a crypto that you can lock up and make more of that crypto? I mean, we have a lot of cryptos that are like that. Does it have any other value proposition to it?
Okay. I'm going to give you the secret sauce to HEX that most people don't know. Not even like a lot of the HEX people or OGs even. Okay. So HEX is actually deflationary. Now, it does have a set inflation year over year, which is 3.69. 3.69 inflation is very low. It's like gold's inflation, and it's lower than Bitcoin's. So HEX's supply expands in total 3.69% every year, which is lower than the replacement rate of humanity. There's every year humanity grows. Well, it grows more than 3.69%. It's around there. So as the ecosystem develops and grows, because when you stake your HEX, you have to lock it, it keeps you in the ecosystem. Now, you could always emergency end stake and pull your stake out, but you'll be penalized. So let's say you stake it for 3 years and you want it out earlier because the price went up really high, right? Well, if you take it out early, you're going to get penalized. If you take it out like the next day that you staked, you'll be penalized 99.99. It's all gone. Now, at 70, so if you you stake your HEX, and let's say for 3 years, and you actually had it staked for around 71% of that duration, that time that you promised to stake it, if you emergency end stake it around 70%, then your principal is not penalized. You get back what you initially put in. Only all of your yield
bonus.
Your yield in HEX is the interest, you could say interest. What you accrued, that gets penalized and it's gone. Now, if you wait the entire duration, you're going to get massive yield. you'll get like after 3 years, it's kind of like a 2x bonus almost. You're gonna get like 60% more hex, something crazy like that. So let me finish though. Let me finish.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Because of this mechanism, everyone who gets into the hex ecosystem and starts staking, and once they see the rewards in hex, and so this compounds your gains. When hex goes up in value, it compounds all of the interest and yield you got. And then you see it working, and then you start staking more and more further out. What this does is it creates exponential growth of the hex community because people become walking and talking billboards. That's why the hex community is a little intense. It's a little culty almost, but that's natural. That's what the contract does. That's what the ecosystem does. So forever, the hex community will exponentially be growing until we suck in the entire world. I'm dead serious. No, I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking.
We're gonna join a cult that's gonna take over the whole world.
Yeah, okay. but it's better to join now. At least you'll get rich.
Okay, I think hopefully you're overstating that.
No, I'm really not. I'm really not.
I understand the idea that it will make money for everybody, and so everyone will want to be involved. I get that. It's gonna take over the world.
Well,
there's another edge. Hey, Aura, there's another edge that Richard Hart mentions every now and then, because when he compares it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin miners, they mine Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And they do that, and they pollute the environment with the energy usage. And then they
not
dump
that much.
Bitcoin.
That's overstated. It's really not that much pollution, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then they dump that Bitcoin, which affects the price to cover their costs.
Right.
And you can compare that with HEX because it solves that by using proof of stake, which allows you to stake your HEX and earn more HEX through that way instead of using proof of work and mining hardware.
So essentially, it's a deflationary process it's growing the ecosystem. The process grows the ecosystem, unlike Bitcoin, where the process shrinks the value because people dump it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
yes.
And you can see through HEX, you can see on the staking website, you can see when stakes end, so you can expect when the price will be volatile through
because someone's
stakes. Yes.
So, and then you have a strategy for laddering your staking or your unstaking, so that you're basically giving yourself a predictable income out of the HEX.
Yes, it's passive income.
Right.
And you could strategize. My strategy from the beginning was to ladder, because you want every year money coming out. Because if you don't have money coming out every year, what's going to end up happening is when the price does face-ripping rallies, you're not going to be able to handle it. Like, you're going to want that money
you
now.
won't get any of it. Yeah.
Well, and then you'll emergency end stake and wipe out half of your stake just to realize those gains now. But if it's laddered, you're less tempted to emergency end stake. And you can live off of it easily. I live off of it, although I don't need to, but you can. A lot of people do. And
so it's gone up enough for a lot of people that's their full-time income. That's like their retirement fund or whatever, however old they are. It doesn't matter. Yeah. They're just retiring early on HEX. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And their jobs are to promote HEX. Literally, that's what they do all day. We've got guys driving supercars around the U.S., having meetings everywhere. Eventually, we're going to fill stadiums. And it's going to happen because... So when you go to hex.com, right, and you buy your HEX with your MetaMask wallet and whatnot, when you see the interface of the HEX staking, it's incredibly addicting. You could anticipate how much HEX you're going to get in a couple of years, Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about this. You get emergency end stake bonuses daily. So people who don't actually hold up their promise, their end of the bargain, to how much time they staked, if they emergency end stake, those extra hex, they don't get burned. They actually go, it gets evenly distributed to the rest of the staking class of hex. So every day you're getting a little bit of a bonus. So the yield is actually higher than like 38%. It's probably more like 45% or something if you average it out. But what was I saying? Well,
You were talking about people promoting it, and you were talking about, I like the laddering. I like that idea. So, and then the amount of gains, that it's made. So the bottom line is that now is a really good time to position yourself into HEX if you're not into it, because the price is down and it's gearing up for another rally, basically, because of the where it is in the market. And then there's also the fork, which you need to talk about, which we haven't touched on. We want to talk about what that means, because that's actually a really big deal, the fork. Let's talk about that first.
Okay, so PulseChain.com is a full system state fork of Ethereum. So the entire Ethereum network with every single project on it is going to get duplicated and copied, and essentially Ethereum 2.0, right? And
right.
PulseChain is more than 4 times faster than Ethereum because there's upgrades being done with this fork, hard fork. And
now is PulseChain part of HEX?
No, but HEX is an Ethereum ERC20 project.
Okay.
So HEX runs right now on Ethereum. But when this fork happens, HEX is going to be running on PulseChain. And the reason this fork even is happening is because the Ethereum network is over congested. If you haven't noticed, to do anything,
slow and expensive.
Yeah, like it costs you like 40, 50, depends what's going on the network, $80 sometimes just to swap Ethereum.
Right.
That's unbelievable. Like,
yeah,
that's not what's
insane. I don't use it. Yeah.
Right. So this also is a problem for HEX with the staking mechanism. So when people have to end stake, it costs a little bit of Ethereum, but it's starting to become expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So we're spearheading that ahead of time before Ethereum becomes even more congested with PulseChain. PulseChain is more than 4 times faster, higher throughput, like millisecond transactions. The gas fees are almost non-existent. I don't know, it's going to cost you like a penny or a few pennies to do a transaction. And it's also deflationary, fixed supply. There's a fixed supply of PulseChain. Also, there's a burn feature with PulseChain. It's very small, but it's going to add up over a long period of time. And it's also right off the bat proof of stake, not proof of work, because Ethereum is half proof of work. And I know they keep saying Ethereum 2.0 is coming out, but who knows when they've been saying that for over 4 years.
Okay, so just to run down quickly the difference between proof of work and proof of stake, and why proof of stake is better. Can you just go over that real quick?
Proof of stake has a less attack surface, and PulseChain is going to have 33 validators and nodes running the network, and they're going to be geographically dispersed. There'll be some here, like on different continents even. And no validators have been kicked down or taken down. And even if one does get taken down, there's a whole line of people waiting to validate anywhere in the world. So technically, proof of stake is possibly more secure than proof of work, because proof of work has had attacks. Like, there's been a couple times where people were able to mint infinity Bitcoin. Okay, it is what it is. That's happened. That's the truth. All right, so, but not just that. Of course, you don't have to use a lot of electricity and run a bunch of miners. You just have to run a couple big, not couple, but 33 big servers or farms, and it's just more efficient. All right. And that's just that. The regulators aren't going after it. Regulators are
Right.
going after proof of work. They just are. I don't agree with this climate change bullshit. I think carbon's great for the planet. I think trees and
It's not true. Yeah,
right, it's
I
a
agree.
scam. It's a carbon credit
Right. It's a
tax
total
scam.
scam.
Yeah, it's a tax scam. And the carbon they're trying to reduce is us. Anyways, so
Exactly.
Good one.
let's be
We
real
are
about it.
carbon. We're carbon-based units. That's what humans are.
Right. And plants consume carbon. That's how the coral reefs grow. That's how the trees grow. They consume it literally. All right, let's digress from that. Anyways, and I hope Bitcoin doesn't get attacked. We don't want anything bad to happen to Bitcoin. We just think that its time has come and we're better, and we are. So that's all it is. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, proof of stake. Yeah, that's pretty much what proof of stake. Proof of stake enables PulseChain to be much better than Ethereum. And because it's a full system state fork, everyone is getting a copy of everything, meaning we're going to take a lot of people who are using Ethereum and they're going to migrate to PulseChain along with possibly billions and billions and trillions of capital. And we're reducing the load on the Ethereum network. So Ethereum's going to become cheap again. It's going to transact on. It's beginning
for a while.
For a while. It's going to become fast again. This is very positive for the entire crypto market. Like when PulseChain launches, I think we're going into a hyperbull bull market across the board. And by then, all the central banks are going to be stimulating again to keep their Ponzi scheme going as well, right?
So, do we know when PulseChain is launching or not?
It's soon.
But by soon, is that months, weeks, hours? Do we have any idea?
The earliest, I think, is 4 weeks. The latest by July.
Okay.
Yeah, Richard Hart said something like that, maybe a couple days ago in his latest live stream.
Okay, so the earliest would be like early May, and the latest would be like July. So that will be a huge event on the whole market for sure. It's absolutely going to trigger a lot of the upswing of the market. But basically, I mean, whether you know what I do or not, Laszlo, I mean, I forecast the timing on the market, right? Okay. So we have a really big deal coming. And basically I was seeing this for a long time, but the mechanism showed up with the war with Russia and with the, the Russia's taking, not taking dollars anymore. And now we have all these countries in the world that are about to stop using dollars for the petrodollar. And so that's going to be the end of the dollar. I mean, that's really going to crash the dollar. So we're getting to a point, and that could very easily happen by within the next couple of months. If it doesn't, if by some reason they keep it alive during that time, it's going to happen before the end of the year. So we're going to have one of the most dramatic years in the history of histories, and it financially. But this fork of Ethereum is also a massive change to the crypto ecosystem, because when the dollar collapses and when things go down, everything will go down right away for a second. And then things are going to start to go up again. So you're going to see deflation in everything, including precious metals, everything. So, I mean, these, of course, are opportunities to buy if you have something in a solid asset that you can buy with. That's the problem. So, that's kind of another subject. But the bottom line here is that this does sort of tie in with all the timing of what I'm seeing and what I've been talking about to members. So it fits. It fits the picture, is what I'm saying.
I as well am expecting a correction in the stock market, and the bond market is sort of blowing up right now, because of the dollar, because of what just happened with Russia.
Is Russia
and the petrodollar being unpegged and this and that.
Right.
That said, they'll probably pop off some more wars. Maybe China will go for Taiwan. It's funny because the ruling class, they time everything as well. And
Yeah, they do, and they use astrology actually.
right. They see macro cycles,
Yes,
and then they use it as leverage to do their
right.
psyops. They're
In order to
basically
make them more impactful
right,
at the moment.
right,
Yeah,
and more believable, and it's a great excuse for everything going on for the sheep masses to not,
they don't get it. No,
right,
they're not. They're asleep.
right. This
More so every day.
this wicked cold season was timed as well with the markets. The markets were going to crash at that time in late 2019. I don't want to get too deep in this. Anyways, um, I think if you're waiting for a dip in hex, I don't. It might not come. I'm
No,
not.
no, I
I'm
wouldn't
not sure.
recommend that. I would recommend buying now and not waiting for that.
Right.
I just am. I'm talking about a dip in across markets that's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I would say to buy Hex now because it's very low and because there will be a big bull run in it, and because the Ethereum fork is coming, and so now would be definitely the time to be gathering,
So
your assets.
in the past, in the bear market of 2020, Hex actually went up while everything else was crashing.
Okay.
And
See,
that's
this is exactly what we were talking about in my last call, which is we need assets to hold their value when everything else crashes, right?
right.
So a couple of things that will do that will be gold pegged fiat currencies like the ruble, like the Japanese yuan. But if Hex has a proven history of that as well, then that becomes another safe haven. So this is
right.
yeah.
Listen, I come from actually the stock market, and I also do stock market analysis, TA, and research for mining stocks, this and that. Commodities can only
Mhm.
go up,
Right.
and then the new One Belt One Road initiative with China and Russia and all that. Their currencies, I don't know though, because it gets crazy when on the currency
Yeah, it
markets, because
does.
those are really manipulated, and let's
I
not
know, and they can
dismiss.
go the wrong way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's not dismiss the West's ability to manipulate things, because they're pretty damn good at it.
exactly. No, that's absolutely true.
But with Hex, because PulseChain is coming soon, and because a lot of the liquid Hex that's out there on the market to buy is very, very small. So when you look at the circulating supply, it's really around like 9 to like 6 billion. That's not really a lot for at the price it's at right now. But also, every day there's more and more people staking, so it's deflationary. More and more of the liquid supply is being time locked, right? So
Mhm.
that's why it holds up its value so well. But dips are in the game. Corrections are going to happen. It went up over 1,000,000%, and right now we just had an 80% dip. Can it go another? Can it go another 10%? Sure, but it's not really a big deal. It's not a big
Right.
deal. The minute PulseChain is announced, the date for it, which might be 2 weeks out or 4 weeks out, Hex is just gonna go straight up like a wall. It's gonna blow people's minds, because there's really not that much liquid out there to buy right now. Because
Right.
a lot of it was sacrificed, because a lot of people did get PulseChain coins, and a lot of there's a dex as well, decentralized. It's like Uniswap. It's called PulseX. So a lot of liquid hex has just been sacrificed to an entity that never ever sells. It's like burning the supply.
Mhm.
So right now and again, the supply is only gonna just disappear.
So yeah, but it's hard to buy. I went and looked at it. You can only buy it like on Uniswap and maybe Poloniex. You can get it.
There's a couple more exchanges. But listen, this is real crypto. You have to do it this way.
Yeah, I know.
It will list eventually on major exchanges. That they'll have no choice. It's just that the exchanges are afraid of Hex and Pulse Chain, so they're not listing them, because it literally removes middlemen, and they're big Bitcoin, and
Right.
Ethereum bulls. But listen, you just go to hex.com, you make a MetaMask wallet. Now listen, this is very, very important. Very important. If you're new to making a decentralized real crypto wallet, you just go to hex.com. Don't type it in wrong. Hex.com is the safest place to go. And then go to this page. It's right here. And you go to MetaMask, and you click this link, go to MetaMask. You make an account. When you make that account, do never ever copy and paste your keywords and your keys. And then reveal your keys and write them down on a piece of paper. Make sure you write them down right and triple, quadruple check. Write them down on a piece of paper and never ever copy paste or put it on any electronic device. Don't ever take a picture of it. Nothing like that, okay? And then you make a MetaMask wallet, and then you just click the links as you go here. Then you go to buy ETH, and then you connect your wallet to Uniswap, and then you could just buy Hex, and then you click stake. And when you stake, you connect to the front end of Hex, where you could see there's a calendar, and you could see how much Hex and interest you might get, and play around with it. It's really sticky and fun. It's really addicting, actually. But just do not make the mistake of ever putting in your password and your keys into the computer or any electronic device. Never even take a picture of it. Just have it on a piece of paper, and then you could engrave it into a piece of metal, or you could buy a Trezor, and then that's a little more advanced, but you're going to have to do that eventually as well. But it's worth it, okay? Because Hex, believe it or not, could go to $10. It could go to $20. It could go to $30. It can, and it probably will. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm expecting in the next few years. Again, right now, I believe... I found out about Bitcoin early on in 2010. I've been in this game, okay, for a while. Of course, I never held on to my Bitcoin and Ethereum because you just don't. You never thought these gains were possible. And that's the beauty about Hex. Hex saves you from yourself, because when you lock it up and stake it to get the yield, you can't really sell it. You just kind of have to sit on your hands and watch your portfolio turn from thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. And I'm attest to that, and so are a lot of people. I mean, Hexbull just put up a Lamborghini post on Twitter, like, this is real. So this is like...
You bought a Lambo, Hexbull?
I did. I can send you the link to that. I'll send it to you.
Okay, you better, because I wanted to do a video where I was just making fun of that whole Lambo thing. Not that I'm sure they're fun to drive though.
Yeah, I mean,
not a new one.
Oh, it's still, I'm sure it's fun to drive, but I did want to go to the Lambo dealership and do a video where I was taking one out for a test drive because I thought it would be fun. But I don't have one here where I am in Mexico. There's no Lambo dealerships.
Oh, you don't want to drive a Lambo in Mexico.
No, God, no. You barely want to drive anything that's functional here, because the roads will beat your car up.
Yeah. But we actually just raised over $600,000 for a NASCAR. We're a part of that. Richard bought the biggest diamond in the world.
He did?
Yeah,
Richard Hart?
Yeah, it's right there. You see the picture?
I can't see it on my phone, but I'll look it up.
Well, I think you have to scroll or something, hit something on your phone. You'll be able to see.
If you're on your phone, scroll the screen over to the left, and you should see his desktop.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
there we go.
I thought you were.
I see it.
I thought you were watching my screen this entire time.
No, I haven't been seeing your screen. I've just been seeing you.
Oh, okay.
And now I see this. Now I know how to use this on my phone.
Yeah, there's he literally bought.
That's giant.
Yeah, it's the biggest diamond in the world. He bought it for
just won that recently,
like $4 million or something. I don't know.
Wow, and then this is the NASCAR car.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I like the color scheme.
Listen, I mean, Richard became he's an entrepreneur, and Listen, don't believe all the scam talk. It's just a bunch of haters. But he became.
Oh no, I don't think he's a bad guy.
Well, I know, but he does flaunt like massively.
Yeah, everyone is. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's marketing, guys. Don't take it too seriously. He really doesn't really care about clothes and watches and all that. But it's nice, it's cool. I mean, come on, boys are gonna be boys. Like, yeah. But it is marketing.
I have one. Believe me, I know. Mine's 12.
And you know, he is the marketing king. He's known to be the marketing king. He was like the first guy to get like taken to court for like spamming everyone with emails.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in the early 2000s. And you know,
wow.
he had like 5 businesses and became retired. So he taught the community how to essentially market like wizards. I knew this because I was an entrepreneur since I was like, you know, like 20 or whatever. But so I read the Market Wizards book and all that, so I know the game. So when you see all this flaunting, okay, we call it clout clouding.
Yeah, it's just sales.
Yeah, it gets people's attentions, and you got to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so we bring awareness to these life-changing products. I mean, come on. This is the biggest thing to ever happen in crypto. A copy of everyone's crypto.
Yeah, this is really big.
Never been done before.
The biggest airdrop in blockchain history, and a lot of people are not covering it. It's been gatekept.
Yeah, but you know
it's gonna be.
You know what's funny?
Yeah, and it's gonna duplicate your wealth. It's gonna ease up the Ethereum blockchain. I mean, I'm gonna do a video on it. Actually, I'll talk about it.
Yes.
Because it needs to be spoken about more. I mean, I don't have a huge platform, but I'll do a video.
You will,
because
though.
It is a really big deal.
If you talk about PulseChain, PulseX, your channel will grow like crazy. You should do it right now. Before.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, Hexicans will flock over to you.
Right. I'll upload this video if you don't mind, and I'll send people to you.
Yeah, great.
What is your
Absolutely.
channel?
My channel is it's my name, Aura, AURA, right, WRIGHT Media on YouTube. But I also am on BitChute, and I put more deeper information when I'm seeing things on BitChute, because you know you can't talk about everything on YouTube. So my BitChute is Astrology Chick. Astrology Chick, all one word, CHICK. And you'll find me there too. But if you find me on YouTube, the BitChute link is in the description box of my YouTube videos.
How do I spell that for YouTube?
Astrology Chick.
Oh.
ASTROLOGYCHICK. That's on BitChute.
Oh no, YouTube.
My YouTube is my name, Aura, AURA, right, WRIGHT Media.
See if they bring you up or you're battle back.
Are you typing it into YouTube?
Yeah, right now I'm trying to bring it up.
Yeah, trying to pull it up. It should come up if you put my name in. They do a pretty good job of trying to bury me, actually. They don't like what I talk about.
I would have done this early on if I forgot. We got it.
There it is. Yeah. So that's my YouTube. And then, of course, my website is the same. It's auraright.media. So.
Okay. Yeah, everyone go over here. This is what our channel looks like.
Yeah, look at some of what's gone on here historically, what I've been talking about, like the timing on all this stuff. And I was talking about war for, there's just was a really big, long aspect going on, which was all about war for like a month before this whole thing in the Ukraine happened. So I'm like, battle, war. I mean, I just was like, this is coming. And I've been talking about Russia and China and like these countries that are going to get into it for a really long time. And I mean, you can go look, if you look at some of my really older videos, there's some pretty interesting stuff in there.
Aura did talk about COVID early on and how everything would change after the year 2020.
Yeah. I actually wrote an article about the virus coming in 2017, way before it happened. Yeah. But, we still have to get through it. So right now it's really all about, like, on the energetic and spiritual level, it's about all of us being at that vibration level where we're not going into that descended, hypnotized, asleep consciousness state where they're trying to just basically put everyone into a deeper trance, essentially. Because, most people are in a trance anyway, but like those of us, this is the opportunity for people to wake up, because you're either going to see it or you're going to go in way, way deeper. So we have the opportunity to basically raise our vibration level and improve our entire world, the world that people at a higher vibration are going into a different world reality than those who are diving deeper.
I mean, it's the Great Reset, whatever, but it's it's kind of like breakaway civilization.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm actually very hopeful and positive about all this. I mean, I've been, as you would say, I've been awake all my life since I was a little kid. Like, my parents talked about conspiracies since I could understand what they were talking about. So I've been living. I've been very lonely when I was young.
It is. It's really lonely.
But not anymore. It's hard. But not anymore. I mean, people are waking up because they're really accelerating this. And Clown World's at the point where even your normies like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, this doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But listen, true. I'm at the level where I'm like, I used to post a bunch of truths and memes and blah, blah, blah. But honestly, has it ever stopped it? No. No, it hasn't. Listen, it's kind of like bringing it into reality. So
no, well, that's true. You don't want to focus on it too much, because you do help manifest it that way.
Right.
You want to focus on what we want to create. Yeah.
That's why they let us do it. I mean, they do ban people, but that's only when you're really effective. Like, if you actually start telling people to start homesteading and like living a moral life,
off-grid life,
right? Then they'll start trying to stop you, or they'll shadow ban you. But because then you're actually getting them out of hell and helping them survive, because the collapse is here. It's happening. It's just slow motion.
That's right. Slow motion, exactly.
But I think raising people's frequency, right, is to get them out of that fear state, get them out of the constant cortisol levels rising state. Because once
high beta,
right?
High beta.
So that's why every psyop has to be bigger than the last, because it's not going to work if they do it again. Like, if they say, "Oh, COVID's back," no one's going to give a shit. They're going to say, "No, we're not doing this." So bigger and bigger, because it's not working anymore on the mass consciousness. So, what I've been doing is not really. I do post some truther stuff sometimes, but I'm always mocking it. So it comes off as a level of, we've already won. We're just going through the motions. They think it's the Great Reset, but I think it's the Great Awakening. And you could you could see it already. They've lost, but they're psychopaths, so they're just going to keep going forward.
Well, they get more intense, and they're grasping at control is what happens. But yeah, they have lost, because I mean, too many people are just outliving their lives. You know what I mean? And there are people who are getting hurt by all this, but it's not, it's just not, this is something that I always say is like, there's planned, they have planned, and then there's what's going to happen, right? And those two things are not the same. And then you just want to be in that part of reality that is moving to a better reality, to a better way of relating to other people, where there's more prosperity, where things are more joyful and more fun. So it's really up to us individually to be at that higher frequency and not be living in that fear, anger, drama that they create all the time.
Well, I think it's more local. I think you have to build up community around you.
That's right.
And
that's exactly right.
And then you'll survive. I mean, this has actually happened in the past many times.
Yeah, it has.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to get too spiritual, but this could just be God's plan. I mean,
well, I think
humanity.
It's what I think the way I see it right now is that it's God sorting people out.
Yeah.
Like by their frequency right now.
Pretty much.
People are. Yeah. So they're going down one of three tracks, basically.
That's why it's unbelievable how so many people could get fooled, right?
I know. It is unbelievable.
It was shocking. I never thought there'd be this many NPC mindless sheep, but they are.
Yeah, I did.
Well,
I wasn't surprised. That I expected a lot of people to follow the storyline. I'm saddened, but I wasn't terribly shocked by it. I'm happy to see larger groups of people waking up, though. It's nice to see that it takes them a long time. It just takes them a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you have to face the music.
2 years.
Like,
mm-hmm. So what else about HEX? What else should we talk about with HEX so that people understand it a little better?
HEX is the first asset in the world which generates the largest yield in the world. It is basically, it can be passive income, it can be your retirement, and it is probably the easiest and fastest way you could possibly make life-changing wealth, okay? And when PulseChain, when it's announced, the date that it's ready to launch, HEX is going to go up probably a lot because of the capital inflows from the rest of the crypto market. So in anticipation, people do buy the rumor and then sell the fact, if you've ever heard of that. So just in anticipation of PulseChain launching, which, like I said, no later than like July, but it could be 4 weeks from now. It could be next week that he announces. We don't know, because the way with technology is they're testing the PulseChain right now. They're testing it, and they're fixing bugs. And as soon as all the bugs are fixed, I mean, it's ready to go and launch. And then
it's not going to happen next week. I'm telling you, they're not going to announce it next week. We have a little more time than that, but I still think we need to get on it, buying it.
Yeah.
But my hit on it is it's not quite that fast.
Right, but just get your HEX. You don't want to miss out.
Yeah, basically. Get ready. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's about HEX. And the HEX ecosystem and the community size will pretty much forever be growing. PulseChain, when that launches, you would want to be there day one, preferably the minute, if you never got any, because the sacrifice phase for this, and it was based on freedom of speech. So we sacrificed Ethereum and other cryptos for freedom of speech. It's not a security, no expectations. We just did it to get coins, okay? And then there's PulseX, which is the exchange. It's like a Uniswap. And the reason he built that was because there's an automated market maker, which is going to help capital move more freely into the PulseChain ecosystem. Now, also, everyone, they sacrificed a bunch of crypto to receive PulseChain and PulseX. All of that crypto went into stablecoin, and I believe, we call it the magic carpet ride, I believe that'll provide liquidity for the PulseChain to be very, very, very successful right out of the gates. Meaning, I don't know.
You've got real backing. It's got real value behind it.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Right. Well, it's
a lot more people did miss the sacrifice phase as well, because it was gate kept.
Right. And by the way, the gatekeepers, all those other crypto people, they all sacrificed for PulseChain and PulseX. The reason they hated HEX was because they just didn't like Richard, and they didn't think it was possible, and they never got any, and then they missed out. But this time, they're not missing out on PulseChain. And the minute PulseChain launches, you're going to see all of these crypto shills, and we call them furus, they're going to start promoting PulseChain, because they all have bags now. All the big crypto YouTubers, even the exchanges, are going to list PulseChain. We're looking at Binance, I believe. I could be wrong. They've been testing it. They're going to list it. Coinbase, like all these exchanges. So it's going to be huge. You do not want to miss PulseChain. You want to get some of that. But listen. If you buy HEX now, the minute PulseChain goes live, HEX is just going to keep rallying on the PulseChain network. And it might go really high, higher than anyone ever thought imaginable. So you could always swap your HEX that you already have for PulseChain. Yeah. And that is the way to go, in my opinion, for if you guys...
that's the first mover advantage.
Right.
Well, and also first mover advantage, and also because HEX seems to be not get so hurt by the market when it fluctuates.
Right. And
Yeah, first mover advantage in the case for those that missed Pulse and PulseX sacrifice phases. The best strategy would be to get HEX now so they can interact with the ecosystem once it launches.
That makes sense. So this is a really good in for PulseChain, early in.
Correct.
you'll probably get the most PulseChain by swapping HEX for it. Although you can also do it both ways, right? I mean, you could be there day one and then just go in and swap your Ethereum. There's going to be a bridge. So listen, you guys have to get very acquainted with crypto and practice it and watch all these videos. I'll watch all of these Hex videos. You can go to hexstreamers.com and there's just endless people putting out beginner stuff like tutorials. I don't really do that, but you could just go to Hodl Dog. He does a lot of tutorials, even for people who are new. But either way, you won't miss out if you get Hex, and that's probably the best thing you could do. And then later, you don't have to swap all of your Hex. You could do maybe just half or a quarter of it for PulseChain, because that's going to be going up a lot in the beginning, I believe.
Yeah, it would, if it's going to duplicate everyone's value on another chain and also make it faster and cheaper to transact. It's not going to take very long for people to move over there and start wanting to do all the business there. Whoops, where it's cheaper. Sorry, this just did something weird. So yeah, that will happen pretty fast.
Right.
Yeah, Nora, I sent you a link of someone comparing the PulseChain testnet against Ethereum with the transaction time, so it's a lot quicker.
Okay, well that's what I was expecting from what we were talking about. Sorry, let me just fix this. So what else can you tell us about all this? Is there anything else that we need to go over that we haven't kind of covered yet?
I mean, yeah, there's endless stuff. It just gets very advanced.
Yeah, it's an entirely new ecosystem. There's a lot of projects that are kind of like going through the 2017 ICO phase for like crowdfunding, doing their own sacrifices. So there's a lot going on within the PulseChain ecosystem. But I mainly wanted to focus this on HEX and PulseChain. So
yeah, I don't want to talk about other coins that get too complicated. Yeah. But this is enough for now, and it's a good plan of action. Basically, it seems pretty easy to get the information you need to buy it. Just go to the HEX site or do some YouTube searches for tutorials on staking HEX or whatever. I have a couple of links that HEX Bull sent me, and I'll put those together in an article for my members. When I put this, the replay, as soon as I can get a copy of this from you guys, I'll put the replay up for my members so we can share it to people who didn't get here now. I don't know if anybody made it over here. It was a little difficult earlier. So any other thoughts?
You should check out, there's a documentary coming out. It's going to be like Netflix level. It'll probably make it on there, or we're hoping. It's called The Highest of Stakes documentary trailer. It's on the hex.com website. Should, for new people, check that out as well.
Is it about crypto, or is it about HEX, or what's it about?
Yeah, it's about HEX. It's about the community. They're recording right now and following people around, and there's already been a few conferences. Oh yeah, I mean, there's we just had a HEX conference. There's going to be another PulseChain conference in Vegas, I think, towards the end of the year, and there's so much going on. It's literally crypto 2.0. Yeah, it's crypto 2.0 essentially.
Okay, good, cool. I don't have anything else to ask you. I think you guys kind of covered it all. Anything else for me?
Hexboy, you have anything?
Nothing from me. So I've sent you some links. If you have any questions on those, you can just message me on Telegram, and I can get those answered for you. So yeah, we're just waiting on Richard Hart to announce the date of the fork, and that'll be the driving factor for HEX to start going up, because that is the entryway into the PulseChain ecosystem for everyone that missed the sacrifice phases. So along with everybody getting their ERC20s and NFTs copied over. So that's what the Hexagon community is currently waiting on.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll just follow up with you guys later on Telegram. So this was great.
Perfect.
Thank you guys. Both of you. Thanks so much for putting this together for us, HEXPol. It was
No
great.
problem.
It was a great
Thank you.
meeting.
It was a great chat.
Yeah. Nice meeting you too, Laszlo. Talk to you guys later.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.